Welcome to the Matt Rats podcast. These are choked out chats. This is where sweat, ego, and bad decisions collide. We're talking real jiu-jitsu, the wins, losses, injuries, the mindset, and everything that happens on and off the mats. No filters, no fake gurus, just mat life. So strap in, you're rolling with the Matt Rats. All right, this season started with a Matt's Rats outing and a couple mics, couple beers, love for jiu-jitsu. Well, this is it. This is season 1, episode 10, the finale. Couldn't think of a better guest to have on and help us close things out. So tonight we've got our professor in the house, a black belt, a leader, a girl dad, businessman, and someone who bet on himself big this year. He is the founder of Deepwater Jiu Jitsu, an affiliate of the legendary Nova União and Diego Saraiva BJJ. He's built something from the ground up that represents grit and pressure and that sink or swim mentality. Not just a black belt to us, he's a mentor, realtor, family man, and somebody who leads from the front. So we have Professor Jason Scohier here with us. Welcome to the Matt Rats.
Let's go.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. That was a fantastic intro.
Man. That was like
awesome.
an intro from like a Game of Thrones. You know how that's exactly what that sounded like.
Damn,
that
was
good. That was awesome, dude.
That was
Did you
fantastic.
write that down, or was that just impromptu?
Yeah, I wrote that shit.
Shit
Shit was good though.
That was
really
well
fantastic.
written.
All right. Well, awesome. We had to do it big for Professor Jason.
Appreciate it.
Professor made a big move this year, starting Deepwater Jiu Jitsu. Wasn't just opening the gym. It's, building a culture. It's your flag in the ground, a standard. So take us to that moment. What made you decide it was time to bet on yourself, and what does Deepwater mean to you?
Yeah, so about this time last year, I knew we were coming up on the end of the lease that we were at. For those that don't know, we were basically renting space in a dojo American karate studio that my professor was leasing. He had his hands in that as well. And we knew we wanted to do something on our own, but we weren't exactly sure what. I had been kind of toying with it for a couple years, and I had been thinking about if I did open up a shop, a gym, what would I call it? So I chose Deepwater as an homage to my instructor and professor, DJ Wegeson, DW. So the Deepwater, and then also, Diego, the octopus. I kind of tried to stay with that theme. And, you've always heard the adage of take them to the deep water, drag them into the deep water. So
Right.
I thought the name was cool, but really, I wanted an opportunity to do something that was unique to just us. I love being Nova União Roswell, which we still are, and I love being an affiliate of Diego and under Nova União, and none of that changes. But I thought that it was, a unique opportunity to do our own thing. So then we started kind of looking at space, which sounds easy, but man, that is a challenge to find space in the same area, because you want it to appeal to everyone. So you don't want to go too far one way or the other, because then it becomes a challenge for people that live too far west or a challenge that live too far east, right? And then you got to think about the build out. So that whole deal was super stressful, but luckily I had DJ to kind of guide me through it, and we got it done. And it was stressful, but it wasn't, thinking back, it wasn't as bad as when we first started the program. Like, starting the program from nothing was way more stressful to me, because, I had a few people training, but I mean, you're losing money, you're trying to coax people into come out and just give you a shot. And so, that takes time. So this was kind of the natural progression, I feel like, and it's worked out well so far.
It has.
For sure.
You've done a great job with it, man, and we all enjoy being a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, you guys are the engine that makes it go. You know what I mean? So, couldn't do it without you guys, for sure.
What about
That's
the
awesome.
logo? Did you kind of brainchild that?
Yeah, that was kind of a collaboration between, Brian's guy Dexter, who's a graphic designer. And I think at the time I might have even picked like Drew's brain, whoever I was talking to at the time, like, hey, I had an idea of what I wanted it to look like. And it kind of started out with like, it'll be like a surfboard with like a shark's bite out of it, or like, no, that's not it. And then like, we just kind of like threw some stuff on paper and they were okay. But then between me and someone else were like, hey, what if we had like, as if we were looking up, like we were deep in the water and we were looking at shark circling. And it's like anything else, man. Once you kind of hit on that thing, that's it. You're like, oh shit, that's it. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? And then Dexter was
Yeah.
like, hey, what do you think about this logo? And I was like, and I can't remember how the font was, but I was like, could you do it like, this? And then he spit it out and I was like, dude, that's it. Like run it.
That's
How much do I owe you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what makes it cooler too is like, you never really know how people are going to react, because people are going to be kind of complimentary to your face.
Everyone's got a fucking opinion too.
Sure. And so you're like, hey, what do you think? And some people had a couple like decent little feedback kind of things, but like really it was a resounding like, dude, the logo's sick. Professor Brian Fernanda was like, oh man, great logo, great name for the gym. So I mean, that kind of lets you know you're on the right path with everything. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I
it's
think
cool.
I think the logo's sick. And speaking of that, I heard that you have hoodies coming in, and I'd like to get some.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Have
this
those?
week.
Have those? Oh, okay. I need to put
Yeah.
myself on the list.
They're going fast, Todd.
I've been
Yeah,
slacking on the
Big old
WhatsApp.
play.
I know. I'm gonna go ahead after I get off this chat. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my my order.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
need a mug. You got any mugs left over?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got mugs. So
That way I
yeah,
can
you're,
have the
you're
mug
covered.
for the podcast. Yeah.
There you go.
But that's also just such a great bonus to having your own brand. Obviously the merch, but with a dope name and a sick logo, it makes it kind of easy to sling some merch. Like I know that every one of us wants shirts and hoodies and all that. We want
Yeah.
to represent, and it's a brand that we want to represent. We want to walk
100%.
around with that on our chest or on our head. So yeah, it's sick. I think we all love it. It's pumped. I can't wait to see like the other shit that comes
That's
out
why
too.
we rock it on the back of our trucks too, All of us have
Yeah.
stickers,
Yeah.
Everyone around town sees it. Definitely
Well,
represents.
I don't know that, I think, jiu-jitsu guys especially like to represent all that, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
I wanted that for me, like when we started getting some merch at Diego's and like rash guards and gis and hats, I was like, oh dude, like sign me up. You know what I mean? So to
Right.
get that, I knew that people would want that, you just have to kind of get the right thing, because and like you said, man, everyone's got an opinion. So there's been a couple times where I'm like, hey, what does everyone think about this? And then I get about 8 comments in. Yep. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do what I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. But yeah, we're all pumped. I think it was awesome. Love the gym. For those listening, it's also the gym's gonna get a little bigger, at least the roll space. So still some things to come, new mats,
cool.
more space. Just got a new shower and everything. So it's sick. So if you're in North Fulton, Roswell, Georgia, kind of right off 7B, Holcomb Bridge, that area, if you're within driving distance, it's going to be hard to find a better gym, better culture than what we have. So come check out Deep Water.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Yep.
Are
for
you
sure.
guys? Are you knocking out the wall at the mats at the front right there and kind of pushing that over and going to extend the mats?
Yep. So we've kind of looked at everything, and to get the best kind of bang for buck with the space that we've got now, we're going to knock that wall out that's got all the black belts pictures on it, that's got like
Yep.
Wendell, BD and all that. That wall
Yep.
will be gone, and then it'll extend kind of in an L shape, right? And then we're going to push the walkway all the way over to the left. So like you'll walk in, we'll kind of reconfigure the front podium, like the merch counter and all that stuff, to where you walk all the way to the left, and then you'll pop out kind of, I don't know, over by where the counter and like the water and fridges and stuff are. But like with that wall gone, it's gonna open everything up. Even if you don't think about like actual mat space, yes, but like anytime you're getting close to a wall, that affects the mat space as well. So with those walls being gone, it'll make it a lot more open. Sight lines will be better. And then once I have exactly what space we're gonna have, that's when I'll order the new black mats because I want all black mats.
I remember you
And
said you
then
wanted those. Yeah.
that's the whole
That's
idea
gonna
is like,
that's gonna be
black mats
sick.
for like the deep water. Yeah, it's gonna look good, man. So I'm
Yeah.
that once we're done with that, it's funny. Like we'll get all this shit done and then the lease will be up and we'll move to another spot. So like,
But hey,
you know,
you're gonna have some dope black mats to take with
that's
you.
right.
So that's all that matters. And some good
That's
merch.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're
Good
pumped.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Professor Jason is the first black belt that we've had on the pod. Professor, what does a black belt mean to you personally?
I kind of thought about this. When I first started, I think I thought that a black belt kind of knew it all. Like I thought that, you just think like, oh, well, the black belt kind of has all the answers. As I got closer to being a black belt, there's almost like this it's kind of like I started to panic and be like, oh shit, there's no way I can know everything in these last few years, right? You get to like two stripes on a brown belt, and I'm like, oh, this ain't good. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot that I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I think technically you should be proficient. You don't need to be an expert in every position, but you need to know how to get in and out of every position. I think you need to know. Um, it's really more about understanding the why, right? So, like you need to be able to, when someone asks you why this is working or why it's not working, understanding the why, right? Why this sweep isn't working, or you're not loading them up, or why this submission isn't quite working. And I'm not saying I can't answer every question. And there are times, frequently that I have to take this to my instructor, or I'll bounce it off of Mike or someone like that to kind of fill in those gaps. But I think you need to be technically proficient in almost all areas, not experts in every area. I wrote down some notes here, so I'm looking over that. I think the mat time you need to have. I'm not by any means shitting on anyone that gets their black belt in record time, right? But
Moneybird?
Ye
Ah,
well,
money bird.
but here's the thing, sometimes, it's easy to say like, "Oh, well, he got it in 4 years." Like, okay, well, how many hours did he put in 4 years? He might have been there 7 days a week, 3 times a day. You know what I mean? So, like, my instructor, I think DJ got his in 6 years, 6 or 7 years, which is super fast, but he was putting in like 30 hours a week, right? So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the time on the mat, the 10,000 hours that, everyone talks about, I think that's important. And I think whether or not you're a world champion, you 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 should have some competition experience. You should have competed at least a little bit to understand that part of the sport,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and then you get into, I think, what's probably the most important. I wouldn't say most important. It's of equal importance to the other stuff is like the leadership and character stuff.
Yep.
Right.
You know,
That's
I
big.
think
That's
that
big.
yeah, I mean you want to represent your instructor, your gym, your lineage well. You got to be really good at developing lower belts. I mean, that's the whole name of the game, right? Is like you got to be good at helping those that are coming after you and getting them better and teaching and doing that kind of stuff. Whether or not you're a professor or you got your own gym, it's kind of your duty to like foster that, right? And then yeah, I think I overall good ambassador, I think is what I would say to
Okay.
that part. So that's kind of a long-winded answer, but that's kind of what I think of when I think of a proficient black belt.
That's
Okay.
good explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with, or what do you think about, like, becoming a black belt? Is it like, oh man, now I can't let anybody tap me, or like, what's that mentality?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure associated with it, right?
That's a really good question. I think it's kind of counterintuitive because I thought that that's what it was going to be like, and maybe that is what it's like for a lot of people. I think for me, it was like a weight off my back. Like I kind of was freed up to like learn jujitsu, so to speak. Like I wasn't, that for me that last year or two, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. Like I knew I was getting close, but I also had my own program. I felt like I needed to be a black belt. I was really just trying to figure out how to get that last little bit.
Mhm.
Once I got the strap, I was like, I just started having a lot of fun with it. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it other than yeah, there's now, when you're talking about going up against another black belt that you don't know, maybe
Mhm.
in your first round, there's a little element of like, okay, well, I need to let him know that I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Um, but once that's removed, it's like, fuck it. I know that I was promoted for a reason. So it gives you kind of the confidence to let go of some of that shit.
So
Right.
I think.
you felt a relief whenever you
Yeah.
got the black belt. Yep.
Yeah. I just kind of
Yeah.
was like, okay, cool. Now and I don't want to misquote, but I got a buddy that he trains down in Alliance named Rick, and he was talking about I think their professor Leona Guerin. He was like, he told him something that was like, I might be paraphrasing, but you got your black belt. Now you've earned the right to learn jujitsu, which is,
Nice.
yeah, you hear black belts talk about how they learned more after, in a couple years after getting promoted than they did in the 10 years prior. And I've been a black belt for, it'll be 3 years in May. And I can tell you that's true, man. Like I've learned more in the last almost 3 years than I did probably the 5 or 6, 7 before that.
And do you feel
It's
like you feel like you're having more fun with jujitsu now
no
because you are
question.
versus, or did you still? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like again, it kind of, and maybe this is a personal thing, like just, but my experience has been, yeah, that it just kind of like took that weight off my back and allowed me to kind of train in a different way without that pressure.
Well, I'm sure whenever Rob gets his black belt, it'll be the complete opposite for him. He's gonna have mad you know his competitive spirit, man. He's gonna be stressing the hell out of it because I'm
Yeah, I don't want anyone tapping me ever.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen too. Then somebody's gonna get you. You're gonna go home and fucking be mad.
I know. Fuck.
Well,
That's funny.
and like, there's also that part of like people give you a lot more respect as the black belt. You know what I mean? Well, like even if
Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys do this to yourselves where you're like, oh, man, like, you'll get deep on a position and you'll have me in a bad spot and be like, yeah, but you let me get there. And I'm like, well, kind of like, but you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I let you get that work in, but you still did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like sometimes I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like, people give
We
you that
understand.
benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
But
funny. I
no,
was
if it's
talking to Jay about, there's also some things that we won't do to like black belts, like, cause if we fuck it up, like they're going to give it to us right
Yeah.
on back, So
no
it's kind of
question.
like, okay, am I going to try this or, it's just going to come back to bite me soon?
Well, I roll with all you guys all the time. Like when you're in there, and yeah, I want you to try it. Like nothing would make me happier than one of you guys catching me in something. Now, granted, once we tap and go again, I'm gonna ratchet it up. Like we're gonna, but I'm excited. I'm like, oh hell yeah! Like DJ told me one time you're raising venomous snakes. Like,
Yeah.
cause I was telling him something about like, I go, man, I'm rolling with. Hell, it might have been Jade. I'm like, yeah, I was rolling with Jade the other day, and that fucker, he was doing this or that. And, some of the shit that I've shown him, he's doing it and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, yeah, man, you're raising venomous snakes. You're going to get bit. I'm like, yeah, I guess
That
so.
sounds like something DJ would say. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had to think about it. And I'm like, yeah, he's 100% right.
Yeah. But you did say something that kind of struck me the other day when we were talking about you getting added to the black belt chat for maybe Nova Uniao. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you kind of had imposter syndrome all over again. And we
Yes.
all deal with that, going into competitions and shit. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, we've had these Nova Uniao camps for about the last, I guess, 3-4 years. And, I got promoted. Actually, I got my black belt at that first one in Atlanta that
That's
we
cool.
had,
That's a
which
cool place.
was super cool, man. I mean, it was in front of the co-founder Nova Uniao, Master Wendell. I mean, it was, there's probably 25, 30 black belts in the room or something crazy. So
That's sick. Yeah.
super memorable. Couldn't have asked for it any other way. But it's like anything else, man. You get that belt, whether it's blue through black. You're on this kind of high for a minute because this is what you've been chasing. And then all of a sudden you show back up to train, you're like, oh shit. And your belt is bright, whatever color it is. Like I've got this crisp new black belt and I'm like, oh shit, right? Immediately you're like, the imposter syndrome kind of kicks in, right? And when I was added to this chat recently in the last 2 years, you kind of go, yeah, no, like it's okay. Like I don't need to be here. Right. And like, you don't want to comment so much, but
Right.
at some point you just go, okay, well, look, if I didn't deserve to be here, I wouldn't be here.
100. That's exactly. I was just about to say that. If
So,
you weren't supposed to be there, you wouldn't be there, right?
no,
And it's good to
that's it.
have you in that chat because that's going to help you, grow throughout your, tenured black belt journey too. You're going to be talking to these guys. You guys are going to be bouncing ideas off each other, learning from each other, and I'm sure that they appreciate your input just as much as you appreciate theirs.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, and I think I've talked about this a little bit where I think, you know, just because I haven't been a black belt for 18 or 20 years like some of these guys, doesn't mean I don't have value to add in some of these other areas or ideas or, you know what I mean? So you got to kind of get past that and go, well, whatever, I deserve to be here, The same way that, Big Mike goes into compete, gets his black belt in November, I think signs up for IBJJF 3 months later, something goes out, wins his division, damn near wins a match in absolute. And he was like, look, I deserve to be here. And he's right, So
Yeah.
you got to kind of, it's cool. It's cool to be invited and be a part of that. But yeah, it definitely took a minute to kind of get over that imposter syndrome for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. I think Jay is going to be there well before me, so you're going to be the one that people are headhunting, Jay.
We'll see. Like, I got to a purple, I'm like, I want to slow down as much as possible. I'm like, I'm not even close to brown belt. I'm just like, please do not put another stripe on me.
Enjoy purple. Purple's fun, man. I loved purple belt.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, of course, if we move on to the next subject, obviously, I just had an NFC fight. I think it was a great experience. I'm so happy I did it.
Yeah.
I'm obviously very, very happy everyone came and was able to support me. But, I'm just obviously there. I think because I have developed some of my game now as a purple belt, I I want to go and work on more on that. I think when I was a white and blue, I was more so like chasing for that purple belt. Like I just been on a higher level. Now that I am at a decent level, I'm like, okay, maybe I should fix my game more rather than just chasing for that belt. Is more so trying to develop my game. I think that's the nice part about it and the cool part about it.
Well, don't say fix because I don't think anything's broken, but develop. You just gotta, have fun with purple belt and keep developing what is an already awesome game.
Yeah. But what did y'all think? How was the experience for you guys? I know Professor Jason's been to the NFC fights many times because DJ was doing it before too. But is the experience always same for you? Is it different? Was it different because now you were coaching me and just
Way
if you
different.
could experience?
Yeah, way different. This is my first time going as like a coach. I've cornered DJ one time. DJ asked me to corner him, but I mean,
Was
how
that
do I
MMA or jiu-jitsu only?
No, it was jujitsu, but I mean, here's the thing. He was doing it because he just wanted me to get some experience on the floor, I mean, because what am I going to tell my instructor? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you're like yelling the wrong shit.
yeah, I'm like, all I'm telling DJ is like, yeah, man, break it. Like, I don't.
This is so hard.
And I was kind of joking with him beforehand. I'm like, DJ, what kind of sage advice am I passing along in real time? So, I enjoyed that part of getting on the floor, taking the picture with him after he won, all that stuff, right? That was cool. Going with one of your students and a completely different animal. You know what I mean? It's like anything. It's like going to IBJJF and supporting a teammate versus one of your students. And like one of these days you guys will be there. It's for me, it's nerve-wracking. Like I'm way more chill about me competing than one of my guys competing. Like it is super nerve-wracking, but also that you can't show that, right? So like it's like, no, everything's cool, but then also, so no, I loved it. I loved how kind of unfazed Jay was, and the fact that he put on a great performance and did what I knew he was going to do anyway. Right. So like
Absolutely. Yeah.
that, and I was never worried about that. That wasn't a concern. It was just like, how do we, how do we go back in the dressing room? It's the first time going back in the dressing room, down the stairs. Just a new experience. Like next time it'll be easier. But yeah, I mean, it's a completely different animal when it's your student.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
going
seem a
back
lot like me, like when stuff's getting kind of intense, like I get a little more, I'm quiet and like kind
Yep.
of getting in the zone. So
Yep.
when I came back to like wish Jay luck right before the fight, he's bouncing around, he's ready, he's excited. And you were kind of in that like quiet game time mode. And I didn't want to
Locked
like say
in.
anything to anybody, but I was just like, all right, here we
Rob
go.
Rob does get quiet before competitions. He gets like zoned in, man. He says very few words. That's how you know he's
Same.
trying to get dialed in. Yeah.
Same. I
But
can't.
going back to having or you in DJ's corner, even with DJ's experience and his level at black belt, I mean, maybe, even the stuff that you were saying, I mean, maybe he needed you there too, just like you said, going back to how you contribute as a black belt, for the other things, right? The support there. I mean, that goes a long way with him, you know.
No question.
So that could have been what, did he win?
Oh yeah, he did.
Hey, see, look at that. So
Yeah,
you
he
there in the
served the
corner
guy.
led to his victory. That's how you need to
Well,
look at it.
well, and it's funny because that particular one, it was. I know it was Blake and I. Like, so it's two of his students. It was really cool. It was a great
That's
experience.
neat.
But like,
I
I remember
think
kind of
that's
looking
neat.
over at Blake and being like, "What are we going to do here? Like, what?
Yeah. What,
He noticed."
what are we going to say
And,
that he doesn't already know, right?
right, and listen, that one he put on a clinic. He double legged the guy. He took him down. I think he got to his back. He put that horrible body triangle on him, and I mean,
Yeah.
I felt for the guy because I was like, I've been there 100 times, and I was like, that sucks, dude. Like that guy, it's about to
He's a
get
teacher.
so much worse.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, having you in the corner probably meant a lot to him too, but he was also probably having you there too to help you guys develop and, kind of get
That's it.
the feeling for it. That's what I was telling Rob on was it last podcast about the NFC fight, like talking about competing and stuff. I was always just trying to figure out like if I wanted to do it or not. I wasn't really planning on it. And then whenever I saw that Naga fight or the Naga event, I was like, man, I want to do this. I want to give it a shot at least one time. That's why I was super stoked for Jiu-Jitsu. But whenever I get better, I'll come back around and do it. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Oh yeah,
But
you'll get something
what I'm
out of
saying
it.
is having your homies in your corner, having everybody there to support you, that's cool. I can see how it could maybe increase like your nerves a bit. You know what I mean? Because you have everybody watching you. But at the same time, I think what I've learned through this entire thing is watching everybody compete is it doesn't matter if you win or you lose, man. In my opinion, it's like you're going out there, you're having a good time. And I was even with Jiu-Jitsu, I was concerned about losing and how people would look at me if I lost. And it's like, man, it doesn't matter either way. It doesn't matter. You win
Well,
some, you lose some.
that's the thing. I don't know anyone. I mean, I can't think of anyone that I've ever met that has never lost. That's undefeated, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
everybody takes an L. I don't give a shit who you are. Like that's part of it. I mean, and no one should feel any type of way about that. I mean, if you go out and you don't play your game, maybe, but like if you go out and you compete and you play your game and give it your all, yeah, who gives a shit?
Exactly. And
You know?
who's to say that like you're rolling or you're rolling with that one guy in competition. Okay, he gets you that one time. Well, that's fine. Well, then you might come back out and he might get you again, but then that third time you might get his ass. It just, so it's
Well,
keep going,
these are
keep pushing.
these are guys, that's the reason that they do it that way, right? These are guys that are your size, your experience, but typically that's why it's set up that way. Yeah, the margins are small.
Yeah.
And,
Well said. Yeah.
IBJJF Atlanta is not a small tournament. I mean, these are some really, really, really good guys. So, I mean, if
Yeah.
you're competitive with these guys and you're losing by a point or an advantage, or it's a little thing here or there, that means you're kind of at the top of the heap. So, I mean, there's no shame in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. So, just to give you your flowers, man, you stepped into that super fight, Jay, my
Yeah.
man over here.
Yes, sir.
So if you've never done that, let me just say, it's a different kind of animal. It's a different pressure. You're not hiding in a bracket. You're not one match in a sea of matches. It's just you one opponent, you're in the spotlight, you're in the cage or the mat by yourself. So I thought it was super fucking ballsy just to even do it, and you just
No
came
doubt.
off competing in 2 separate events as well. I mean, that's your 4th comp, including Master Worlds, that you've done since purple belt. So I think it takes something different to agree to a super fight, you know, train knowing that there's only just you there on the poster, and, you know, win, lose, or draw, that takes courage. So I'm fucking so proud of you, man,
Me too,
for
bro.
stepping up, for representing our team
Thanks,
and
guys.
deep water
And
and
the
being willing
rats.
to put it on the line. So nothing but respect for you, big dog.
Hey, by the way, real quick.
Don't forget the mat rat.
Oh yeah, no, he had the patch on there too.
There we go.
Specifically with that match, like I was kind of just saying, man, there's a couple of things, and Jay and I have already talked about this. The thing about that super fight is that's a completely different rule set. I mean, as far as, you know, I know they go off of IBJJF, but you know, you got 2 3 minute rounds. The pace is different. Everything's different. And there were a couple, without getting into like a full, you know, breakdown of the fight, there's a couple moments there that if he zigs when he should have zagged kind of
Yep.
deal, it's a completely different match. And we're sitting here
Yeah.
talking about,
He's on
oh,
his
that was cool,
back.
man. You won. Yeah, man. So the margins are small. And, you know, I just wanted to kind of point that out that, you know, he did fantastic. And that is a completely different rule set.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. What was it like doing your walkout and stuff, Jay?
Just nerve-wracking, really.
Yeah.
But I was telling Jason this too. For
Right to
some
the point.
reason, I wasn't as nervous as IBJJF or Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
I think it was probably the least nerve-wracking event that I have done as a competitor. It was, I don't know
Interesting.
why.
Yeah.
I found that
It-
very interesting.
yeah, I know. I don't know why that was the case, but maybe maybe it would have been different if I didn't do Jiu-Jitsu, because Jiu-Jitsu was already kind of that type of setting.
Yeah.
I may have gotten like that jitter out like front of everybody,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as nerve-wracking. I don't know why. I mean, if Rob or Todd or even Professor Jason, if you guys do it in the future, you guys may have a different experience. But for me,
Yeah.
that was that I had for sure. Well, we gonna
Doubt
let
anybody's calling me for an NFC Super Fight, and on top of that, I'd be shitting my pants walking out there. I saw the stage and everything. Hell no, man.
Well,
but
it was
we
a
gonna let
sick
it
venue.
fun. It was fun.
That was tight. Yeah, it was really cool.
So
Yeah, I mean-
I did a private this morning with Professor Brian. We've been meeting up and getting some rolls in, and he was asking about it. You know, how to go, blah blah blah. We're talking about it, and I remembered that Brian, when he did his, it was at the old, before they did it. They didn't do it at District. They did it at Center Stage, and Center Stage was a little different because it kept the athletes like kind of separate from the crowd in the beginning. So like,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah. But like, I think that because Brian was like, man, he was like, dude, I was completely nerve wracked. Like he was in another place. And I was like, well, we talked about it the night after the fight. I was like, I think that because the athletes are kind of watching the other fights and they're kind of in the mix with all the fans and spectators and stuff, that might help to take some of that away, that, you know, you watch until it's like, you know, whatever, 4 fights away, and then you go back
Yeah.
and then you kind of do your warm up. So I don't know if that adds into it. Only Jay could tell us, but I mean, that might be. And good point about the Jiu-Jitsu, because even though there's whatever, 4 mats, very similar, where everyone's kind of like focuses on you, as opposed to IBJJF when it's just like 12 mats, chaos, you know,
Yeah.
hard to pay attention to anything.
Yeah.
Dude, Jiu-Jitsu, I just got to tell you real quick, Jay, because you weren't with us or Todd, but
I know you're gonna say.
the same ref that was in my second ref for the match where I did not get the decision. I was asking them, because I saw him down on the mats. I was like, who is that guy? Like, he looks so familiar to me. And then they end up being like, that was the guy who was reffing you at Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, this fucking guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it actually, it went like this. You actually said something before. You said something earlier, like, the guy looks familiar, and I kind of chuckled to myself. And then you were like, man, like, do we know that guy? And I kind of laughed, and you go, he looks familiar. And I go, yeah. And I tried to say it with the best, like, short dry delivery? I go, yeah, he refed your match. And Rob immediately goes, fuck that guy. That was great.
Yeah.
That
A little
is
salty
good.
still, but honestly, I guess it was my fault. Should have done something
No.
different.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. But I thought the venue was like really cool and they had the lights going. The only thing I said is like maybe they should have one more screen because you can't like always see if you're behind people. You can't see the score with different posts. But overall, I mean, it seemed sick. The
Yeah, the
food
venue
smelled
did look
good.
cool. And you
Beers
guys,
were
you had
cold.
walkout music to it.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah, that's
What was your
pretty
walkout song, Jay?
It was Daydreaming by Luffy.
Yeah. Lupe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
that's
That was
sick.
sick, man.
Dude, you had smash burgers, cold Modelo. Like, yeah, it's a cool venue. It is.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
That's
So
neat.
I was saying like next weekend at the same place that the Monday Night Garage, their NFC's doing that. It's like an MMA fight, and there's going to be a bunch of MMA fights, but a heavyweight bare knuckle fight. And I was supposed to be out of town, but we can't find a dog sitter, so I might be in town. So if anyone might be down to go watch some people get knocked out, that could be a fun event.
Oh,
When's that?
That'd be
Next week,
exciting.
you said?
Yeah, next Saturday or this coming Saturday.
it's coming Saturday or next Saturday?
This coming
7th?
like the 7th.
The 7th?
Yeah.
But they also throw them in Alpharetta usually sometimes, so maybe we can catch one of those.
Yeah, that would be cool. I had kind of a bad experience with the parking at Monday night.
Professor Jason, they did not know he was Professor Jason, and they fucking gave him a ticket, $90 ticket.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's all right. I got that shit
Some
waived.
bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, good, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to call in the big dogs. I had to run that shit up to Professor
The
DJ
ladder.
and see if
Good to
he
know
could
people.
make something happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the last thing that happened at NFC this weekend was that quintet. So there was a 5-on-5 no-gi match that was supposed to happen, and in the
Also,
middle
pretty
of
cool, by the way.
yeah, it looked like it was going to be sick. And about 1 minute in, what one team called a slam, it was not a slam, but got some people upset, and somebody guy decided to throw water on the mat, and then there was, no fist thrown, but a melee, whatnot happened. So what'd you guys see? What'd y'all think?
Not a slam.
Not
My-
a slam.
My
Not a
opinion, not a slam. He stood up in closed guard to free his arm, and then the guy that had him in closed guard looked like he was either going to start like a lumberjack sweep or something to try and get him down, and the guy basically kind of sprawled, but he landed with his hands on the mat to basically avoid all his weight driving into the kid. It was not a slam. And the ref basically, he didn't really have time to even make the call, but he had kind of started. They both looked up at him like, "Hey, it was just a slam."
Yeah,
And
he
the ref
gave him the keep fighting.
grunt it,
Yeah.
that's just everything's good. And then the coaches charged onto the mat, which whatever. Then water started getting thrown. I think that the guy I don't know if he was just throwing water like in protest or if he was trying to throw it on the ref or what the hell was going on.
Damn.
Once
Terrible
the
throw.
water was thrown, it just started going everywhere. Then once the water was thrown, the shit just popped off.
So I'm assuming the match didn't occur then, or did they end up recuperating?
DQ'd, as I understand it, again, this is not official. What I read and heard, they DQ'd, I think, 2 of the coaches that came out onto the mat, and then the team decided that they did not want to participate anymore without those 2 coaches.
I missed that.
Dude, the bummer is that same team that got DQ'd that ended up, I guess, forfeiting, whatever we're calling it, they participated in a quintet earlier in the night, and one of their guys, the guys that kind of closed it out for them, was fantastic. Like, he was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah,
He had
it was good.
damn near impossible guard. He was really, really good. Like, I mean, he was a lot of fun to watch. I was having a really good time watching that guy. And I was excited about that next team. Apparently that team is from Tallahassee, the other one that went up against him. But like, I was really psyched to see how that kid was going to do again, because he was kind of the star of the show in my mind from what I was seeing. They were all fantastic, but like that kid was fucking slick. He was really good.
So, what does the quintet consist of? Is it all black belts? Is it like a white, with 5, I guess? Is it white, blue? How does it work?
It's no gi. So it's, I think I
Oh,
looked
that's
at
right.
the
You
one
just said it was
guy.
no gi. My fault. That's right.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. So I think I looked at the one guy that went up against the one dude that was holding him in guard. He might be a blue belt. I mean, I've seen it range from, blue to black, and they stack them differently. I mean, one of the best quintets I've ever seen was Creighton against X3. And this guy, Logan Santos, who's a black belt,
Yeah.
he was a purple belt at the
It's your
time.
boy Todd.
And that
Yeah.
dude, he subbed every single one of them. He was the first guy out, and he ran through
Who,
them.
Logan
Maybe
did?
that was, yeah, and that was a quartet, maybe not a quintet. But either way, I remember DJ looking over and being like, "Dude, this kid's a monster. Watch!" And he ran through every one of them. And I
Wow.
thought the roof was going to pop off a center stage. It was fucking incredible. It was awesome.
That's
Sick.
awesome.
And there's no like weight limit. It's just you pick your best 5.
No, there is a weight limit. So like they'll give you, and I'm not, I think, whatever. They'll say 1,000 pounds for a quartet or for a,
Oh, okay.
and yeah. And so like, you got to stack it
Well, that's
accordingly.
dope. That's
Yeah.
dope.
So you get a couple big guys, but if you've got like, a little fucking wrecker like that, that's like
Little
this
heel
dude's,
hooking 165.
yeah, this dude's 150
get a
pounds.
a Mikey M on your team.
Right.
Wear
And
it
then you
out.
stack it with a Preston, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right, so that's kind of what,
sick.
yeah.
Yeah, we should look at
Do they have tournaments
water
that's
into one
just
of
like that? Just quintet tournaments?
I'm not sure. I know that no, that's not. They didn't make that up. They exist in other fight leagues, for
So-
sure.
I have a couple more questions about that, if you don't mind me. I'm not trying to
No, go.
take a back, but so how does that work? Do they have a certain amount? Like, is it 1 round per each person, or is it like how does that work? I mean, does it
So-
go to submission? Does it go to points?
So as I understand it, and again, it's all. I think there, maybe subtle differences in every one of them. My understanding was, okay, the first 2 guys come out. If you sub them, obviously you sub and you stay, right? So like then the next guy comes out from the other team. But I think this one too, like if you beat them on points, you stay. So like winner stays, and then it's last man standing. Now I'm sure they've done other quintets or quartets where it's sub only, where you guys, if neither guy subs each other, they're both out.
Yeah.
And they do it that way. So, but I mean, basically it's last man standing. So, I mean, you got one guy that can just take everyone out,
Dude, I'm gonna watch this on YouTube. That sounds kind of cool. How do we
Super
get in
cool.
on one of those?
I was gonna say it sounds fun to be a part of, and if Deepwater ever puts together, I'd like to be thought of as
Yeah.
a potential
Yeah, that'd be
guy.
fun. For
a
sure.
Quinn, one of the quintet.
Or we should do it. We should do a deep water quintet just amongst ourselves. That'd be kind of fun too. Could do like
That'd be
5 on
super
5.
fun.
That
We
would
could
be
do
neat.
that.
It's
We
like
could
a
do that.
modified King of the Hill, but not from that certain position. That would be kind of cool.
That would
That'd be
be
super
fun.
fun. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Like we could just
Just wait like 9 more months until I get
Yeah,
better.
you and Mike will draft 5, and we'll go at it
that's
next
what I was gonna say.
next Thursday.
Yeah. Me and Mike will be captains. I like it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
that'd be
it too.
fun. That actually would be
That
really
would-
fun.
Dude, that's a cool idea. That'll be a lot
Yeah,
of
we can
fun.
do that.
We should also do like all the Diego Saraiva places. Do like a little tournament there. See
We've talked about it.
little who's number 1.
We've talked about an in-house tournament. DJ was telling me about some of the pitfalls that come with that. Like it sounds good on paper, but sometimes it turns into
A
not
little too
what you want.
competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Professor, let's talk about, evolution of our games, when you're moving from white belt to black belt. What are some things, I guess all 3 of us, what should we think about and focus on as we're trying to develop and evolve?
Gosh, I was thinking about this because you sent me some notes, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I want to have my thoughts together. And So, from white belt, I've always been kind of a big proponent of survival escapes. I think that it's really important as a white belt to get comfortable being in bad spots. Right. So I think that's where everyone should probably start is like get comfortable with being held down, comfortable with being controlled, shitty spots. There's claustrophobia, you know what I mean? All those things that you don't realize are going to be a thing until some big ass sweaty dude's holding you down. Right. Um, I think around blue belt, you should start to shift into a little bit more of understanding guard play, submissions. I think purple, you start to really develop your game. You kind of know most of the technique at purple by the end of purple. Brown, you really kind of hone your game. And then black, like I said kind of before, you're almost free to like experiment with all that jujitsu has to offer. Now, as far as like um what path, I guess it would depend on what do you want to do. If you're a sport player and you want to just compete, not just compete, but if your focus is competition, that would be something, you'd want to get good at positional jujitsu and, you know, um, guard play, scoring points, competition, right? If you're a
Right.
hobbyist, I don't know, maybe you want to go in a completely different direction. So I think that's the kind of the cool thing is it's anywhere you want to take it. Um, I feel like
Is it?
that's kind of a vague answer, but I mean that's it's choose your own adventure, right?
Yeah. So, for example, like me and Jay, we like to compete here and there. And is there a different way? Like, what should we be thinking about when we're choosing our roles or in the middle of our role? Because sometimes we get a little lazy, I think, and we're just laying in half guard and we wait for someone to screw up and take advantage of it. But if we want to prepare for, going 100 and like being in a competition setting, what do you think we should be thinking or doing?
Yeah, you should be training that way. I was gonna say, I think regardless of whatever your focus is, you should train with intention. I think I would say a big mistake, but looking back, hindsight's always 2020. A mistake I probably made coming up was just I would just show up and train, and whatever I did, sometimes I would be working on something, sometimes I wouldn't. But like if you go in with, okay, I'm going to work X guard, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to figure out every way to get an X guard, all the things that come with it. I'm just using that as an example. Kimuras, whatever the case may be, then you go in and train with intention. If competition is what you want to do, I would train with intention on competition. You know what I mean? Getting the position, holding the position, scoring the points. I know sometimes it's difficult. I think where people mess up sometimes is they're like not afraid, but like they almost don't want to ask their training partner to do a certain thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, I want to play guard today. Will you just try and pass? You know what I mean? Like I would just make the mistake of being like, hey, let's just tap and go. I didn't want to like trouble anyone to do what I wanted to do. But I think people are open to doing that. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, we worked sweeps today. Go ask that guy if he'll just pass your guard and see if you can work your guard and work some sweeps. You know what I mean? I'm just using that
Yeah,
as an example. Um, but
I'm a
you
train
also
partner.
got to know who you're rolling with. Like if you two, for example, are really focusing on competition, you're not going to go pick a guy that's a hobbyist that's coming in to burn a few calories and learn something and just blow off a little steam on a Tuesday and just fucking wear his ass out, right? Like, you got to kind of like what Jay's been doing. Jay's go down to HQ. He's finding some other studs that are looking to compete, and it's understood. Like that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you got to
Yeah.
kind of choose your roles, be intentional, and do it that way. I think.
Yep. That sounds good. Jaybird, you have any idea, in terms of being a purple belt and honing what your specific game is? Anything that you're going to be thinking about you want to tighten up or like really dive into?
I want to try to be more aggressive. I believe I was very aggressive when I was white and blue belt. I I was very aggressive. Probably I feel like I gave a lot of troubles to Jason that Jason probably never told me about. I was a very aggressive white and blue belt for sure. And I think I definitely lost that in a way heart, that desire to go hard all the time because
Mhm.
purple is the belt that I wanted to get to and I was gonna feel comfortable. Um, and I think I got too comfortable. I know I've said this multiple episodes, and that's what it is. I just need to stop being so
Well,
comfortable.
let's
I need to keep pushing. That's what needs to
let's
happen.
let's get you back to aggressive Jay, man. Let's get this shit going.
Yeah, I think
No
I've
more
said this.
comfortable.
I
You're
think it's
turning
just
it
that
up.
like it was so easy for you to start beating these like, other blue belts and even some of the other purple belts that, you started kind of like taking it easier. It's like, oh shit, another day at the office, one of those kind of things.
Well, I think it's not even only that. It's not that everything got super easy. It was more so our gym was growing and I didn't want to be that aggressive guy and pick on the newer people, right? Because I understand the newer people, they don't know what they're doing, right? So I didn't want to be doing knee on belly all the time because I understand that's an uncomfortable position. And I wanted to be more respectful because Jason has always told me everyone has different purpose why they train. Like for me, it was more so like I have aggressive side of me, I have a little bit of competitive side of me that I wanted to get out, right? But not everyone trains within that mindset, right? Like how Professor Jason said, some of the guys are just hobbyists. They just come here to break some sweat, they want to hang out with the guys and they have different purpose. So I wanted to make sure that I don't disturb that piece of our culture and make sure that we keep bringing more white belts so we keep growing our community. And I think that's where it kind of got a little soft. Not that I'm blaming it anyone. That was a choice that I made, but I think that's where it started to
Okay.
gain a little more
Well,
sense.
here's a question then for Professor. How do you kind of be aggressive and like
Yeah.
if you want to be high energy roll and be fucking intense, or how do you be a mat enforcer and like still be cool with everybody?
I mean, I think that, you just got to kind of match energy, right? I mean, if someone is coming in and, punch choking and doing some shit like that, you got to kind of just let them know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that that's it. Is it's matching energy. You know, a guy that's coming in and kind of trying to be an asshole, and then other guys are just there to kind of, like he was saying, they're just there for the fun of it, man. They're just there to burn some calories. So I think Mad Enforcer comes with, I mean, Mike was the Mad Enforcer there for quite some time. I feel like me coming up, Professor Brian was the Mad Enforcer there for a while. So if the question is how do you transition into that role, I feel like Jay's probably already there, but luckily we don't I don't think we have that issue a whole lot. Like, I think that the culture is good, and I think that most people kind
Yeah.
of get, hey, look, man, everyone's here having a good time trying to learn. There's been very few times that I've been like felt like I needed to tap someone on the shoulder and go, hey, go sort that out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you just got to be selective with the guys and also let them know what you're doing. Like I'm happy to run it at a 10 if you let me know that's what we're doing. What'll jam me
Right.
up is if we tap and go and then you bum rush me and I don't know what the hell's going on. And then I'm like, okay, so now I'm kind of pissed. Like,
Yeah.
but if you say, hey, I'm getting ready for something. Can we kind of ramp it up? And I'll go, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. It's all about
Cool.
the expectation for me.
Now, if you
I,
get a white belt and, he's passed his free trial, but he's one of those going 100 and like maybe it's more so he just doesn't know what he should be doing or really how to roll. I was probably like that for
yeah.
for a while.
For sure.
Yeah.
Uh is that where you're talking about let's match energy?
Yeah, okay, so if that's what we're talking, yeah, so I'll basically the way that I like to handle is like verbally, I'll kind of be like, "Hey man, you know, you don't have to go that hard," or however, whatever I'm saying, like, "Hey, you don't." I'll give like some verbal tips and cues of like, when you've got my head like that, there's nothing there. You can't just squeeze my head. I'm not going to tap, like, but I just don't like it, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. And then I'll do that for a few months, and then I'm like, okay, we're going to need to approach this a little more organically. And so then I'll start, you know, flexing a little and making the rolls not so much fun.
Yeah.
And then typically there'll kind of be a look of like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Everything's fine." Like, but you're forcing me to roll in a different way that I don't
I
want to do.
Dude, I actually did that to DJ one time whenever we were doing privates. We were rolling, and I which obviously he let me get here, but I had his back, and I put in a rear naked choke, and I had his like chin, and I had it there for a while, and he wasn't tapping, so I kinda let out, and I just went to, like, the next move, and I saw him, and he was not happy about that, and I didn't know that I had his so I think, like, the next one so he submitted me, of course, right away, and then the next time we come back out, and I think he put me like a crucifix, and I was like, "Golly, man," he was going after me, but I felt bad about that because I didn't know I had, like, his well, I could you can't I couldn't really feel where I was at on the rear naked choke, but just like you're saying, he came back out, man. He turned it right back up on my ass. I was like, all right, I'm going to make sure now moving forward, any rear naked chokes do not have any head or, like a face or anything involved with it. I'm going to make sure I get under that chin for sure. That
That's
was
it.
funny.
And I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. I know that people don't. You guys are all good guys, and like, if someone comes in and they're rolling super hard, I get it. They don't know any better, so it's a fight to them. And
Yeah.
I've been doing this long enough that it's a game for me. And so I'm playing a game, and then I'm like, oh, he's fighting me.
Oh, he
And I'm like,
thinks we're
okay.
fighting.
Right. And I'm like, okay, well,
He
I'm
thinks,
gonna tell him, it's not a fight. But if that doesn't work, I'm gonna fight him a little bit and let him know, what this is.
I'm
Yeah.
still fighting Jason all the time, every time I roll with him.
And listen, and I know Jay. I know when me and Jay tap and go, he's bringing it. He wants, in a very nice, respectable way. Jay wants to get me, and I love that. I'm like, cool, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Always.
You know what I mean?
I'm always
Jay,
coming
He
for it.
says that openly.
Jay, I think too with your
Like
competitions and stuff like
one
that,
day it may happen. One day.
It's happening. It'll happen.
I was gonna say with you competing, Jay, like you are too, is I think it's, a good idea to continue to get those hard rolls in with Professor Jason,
Yeah,
and and working on that, getting your hard rolls in with him,
it's
getting
good
those
for
rolls in.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's at any level. I need to go get my ass whooped by Diego. I need to have my ass whooped. Like, you're never the biggest fish. Like, even, you know what I mean? You've got to go. That's the common denominator that we all share. You know what I mean? And because if you're constantly winning, that's not what this is. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to get my ass whooped.
It's really funny. I just keep thinking about when I was a white belt. It was me and Carter, and I just got done rolling with they were a blue belt at this time, and he was like, "Hey, like, you don't have to go so hard or something." And I was like, elbowing Carter. I was like, "This guy's a pussy. Like, yeah, what does he know?"
Uh,
But
I
you
can
learn, and
remember.
like, yeah, you go slow now,
Hey,
much slower.
I can remember when you first started. It was right after I got my black belt ish, and I tore. You remember I tore my biceps
Mindset.
tendon, or
Yeah.
I partially tore it up here instead of down here, and I wasn't using my arm, and we were doing a ton of privates. And Rob's coming in, and Rob's just ragdolling. It was no gi, and Rob's ragdolling the shit out of me. And I was like, I remember thinking, I don't know if I said it audibly, but I was like, dude, like, when I get healthy, I I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, it's coming, right? And I meant
That's
it in the
perfect.
nicest way possible, because
Yeah,
I loved what he was doing, and I was down for it. And I was like, look, I will take this shit, but like, just, you got to know, dude, when this heals, it's coming. It's
That's
coming.
funny.
Yeah.
yeah. I had no idea. I was like, "This is just what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be going hard all the time."
Well, think about it. We say it all the time. When you don't have a bunch of tools in your belt, you use what you brought to the party. And what did you bring to the party? A lot of strength and athleticism. So like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grip and rip, and like I'm gonna sling your ass around, which I'm like, cool, man. He doesn't know any better, and this is what we're gonna do. So whatever,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Good times.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to get some more of those privates going. We talked about those potentially Wednesdays when it fits your schedule, catching
That'd
a
be perfect.
couple.
Yeah, let's
Good
go.
idea.
You know, a lot of kind of I'm gonna switch kind of into our gym culture. A lot of people I feel like they're looking for a gym to go to, and maybe they're looking at, you know, the number of competitors that they have and how well those competitors do, how many medals and championships and such. But, you know, I think kind of like medals fade, you know, and culture stays. And I think that's the backbone of the gym. Um, Professor, what do you think makes gym culture strong and specifically maybe ours?
Yeah, so it's no secret. That was kind of part of the. I guess I felt a little self conscious early on because I don't have a incredible pedigree of winning huge tournaments and things like that. Competition wasn't a big part of the way that I came up under DJ. It just wasn't. And that kind of got in my head a little bit. But then, I would think about things like, you don't have to be a world champion to be a great coach, right? So that's the first thing I'll say. I think the other part is just it's kind of all credit to DJ, man. I've never known anything different other than a welcoming, fun environment where everyone feels safe, everyone feels like they're taken care of. It's light. It's not. I would never want to go. If I go to work for 8-9 hours a day and then I drive to go basically do something that's already super hard, do I want to get fucking browbeat and like yelled at by some dude for being late or, you know, just have it be like this super uptight militant thing? No, man. No, I already did that shit for 8-9 hours. Like I want to come mix it up with some friends and learn something and have a good time. So I think it's a combo of good technique. I feel like we have really good technique. I've learned from really, really solid guys. I think that because the Diego family is what it is, we've got someone in Diego who is a world champion who's won every big tournament that's out there. Um, DJ who is a fantastic leader and also no slouch. I mean, he's got a lot of accolades to his credit. Brian's fantastic. We got a lot of killers
Yeah.
in this
That's a great squad.
family, and I don't hold on to my way or the highway. If I've recognized a long time ago that my way works for me, and maybe it works for you, and if it doesn't, maybe Brian's does, maybe Diego's does, maybe yours does, maybe you know what I'm saying. Like I think that I've just try to foster a nice environment for people to come, have a good time, train, feel safe, get good technique. If they want to compete, I think that we've done a good job over the past 2-3 years of putting points on the board, man. We have guys that win their division, win medals. If you don't, that's fine too. So I think, I don't know, I try to keep all that in mind and just make it fun. That's why I'm constantly cracking jokes, sometimes dumb, but like, that's fun for me. I like to
Yeah.
talk dumb shit and play music and go out and have wings and beers and stuff because I don't know. I feel like that's what people want. They're looking for like a club, right?
Yep,
They're not
for
looking
sure.
for just to know. The secret's out with jujitsu, man. You can find it everywhere. Everyone knows how to do a rear naked. So do you want to go do a rear naked with some like-minded guys that are having a good time? Or do you want to go, get forced to do 100 burpees and then, get your ass kicked by a bunch
Nope.
of, right.
I'll
So
take the
I
first
don't know.
option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
For
So
sure.
sorry.
No, you guys are like some of my fucking best friends now. We,
100%.
the Mat
Yeah.
Rats, we talk about that all the time. I was like, I've got guys that I've been friends with since second grade. But it's just fucking different, with all of y'all. And I distinctly remember I was either about to have Vivian or Vivian was just born, and you put something in the chat And it was like, look, guys, I don't care if you bring your child. I don't care if you're late. Like, I just want y'all to show up and to
I
come.
remember that. Yeah.
And then I was like, that was like really important to me and like made me feel good about even if I have to be late, I'm not worried about what's professor going to say. Am I going to get in trouble? It's like, no, I can show up a few minutes late, get my shit on and go train. So yeah, it's really awesome. I love our gym.
Good. That makes me
100%.
happy
Yeah.
because I mean that's that's no BS. Like I feel that way. Like that, we all have kids, we all have lives. I mean, and we live in Atlanta. So some of the worst traffic in the
Yeah.
fucking nation. I mean, and we're trying to meet at 6 o'clock. I mean, what kind of an
Yeah.
asshole would I be if you get there at 6:15? I'm like, hey, dickhead, leave early from work. Like,
100%.
Why
what?
didn't you leave work early? Yeah, no
Right.
shit.
Yeah. Get here when you can. I'm honored that you guys would show up and listen to what I have to say for an hour,
Yeah. Jay, we've talked about this, and Todd, I think you were part of that conversation as well about how like it would mean a lot to us. Life happens. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Are we gonna have to move or whatever? But how much it would mean to like end up being black belts under Professor Jason. You want to talk at all about that?
Yeah, I mean, I used to live in Ackworth, and it was like a 45-minute drive, but I'll always make it to the gym. And, I everyone that trains jujitsu at our gym has always been like, oh yeah, I always work around jujitsu time. And same for me, when I wanted to move back, I wanted to move to Roswell so I could be closer to the gym.
Yeah.
And gym, the jujitsu it means so much to me, and it would mean a lot to Jay. It would mean a lot to me coming from Jason, because I remember when I first called Jason, I didn't know he was the instructor, but I was telling him what's gi and no gi. He was telling me about what, we have no gi class, we have gi class. I didn't even know what the difference were. He was nice enough to explain it to me. And I fell in love right away. I remember when my free trial ended, I was like, sign me up. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm locked in. And at that point, I didn't know I was gonna stick with it this far. And now that I still have long ways to go. And even if it's 10 years from now that I need to train more, or 20 years from now, I would I would do my best. I would absolutely try my best to stay under Jason to get my white to black, just because I think it'll be a lot. It'll be special just because he's seen the whole journey of white
Yeah.
to
It'll be
he's
special for
seen
both of
how
y'all.
I've progressed, how I've grown, not even just in jiu-jitsu wise, but as in person. Because sometimes I will reach out
Yep.
to Jason about things, I
Yeah.
just want to talk to him, because he made that culture for us. So it means a lot to me as who he is. He means everything to me in jiu-jitsu and as a
Yep.
mentor. So it'll mean a lot.
Yeah.
Words
I mean,
cannot.
you're like, think about how much Jason sees, in 10 years of us going from whatever, whether it's white to purple in 10 years, whatever, we're having our entire lives happening during that. I've had a child, I'm about to have a second child. He's seeing all this. He sees your kids grow up, then the kids are coming and they're part of the kids class.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool, like full circle moments, in my opinion.
Yeah, and when Jason was getting married, I got to talk to DJ, and I was like, "How does it feel? Like, is it weird for you to see Jason get married?" Because I know how close DJ and Jason is, and he was like, it's." He told me it felt great. He got to see him from white to black as well. I think Jason is the first student that's DJ's white to black.
Mhm.
And he was telling me it meant a lot. And, it just it's great to see him how much he has grown as a person and in jiu-jitsu. So it's nice to see how good he talks about Jason all the time.
Jason, have you had anybody from white to black yet?
No. So the highest I've promoted is to purple so far. I'm not. So
Oh, look at that.
also, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I'll get my first. Hopefully, I should get my first degree on my black belt in May,
All right.
which then I'll be able to promote to brown. But the probably the folks, just kind of planning ahead. Like all three of you are, I saw you guys from white belt. I've got some
Mhm.
guys that are probably a little ahead that didn't start with me. And no, I mean, and that doesn't take anything away from that, but no, it does mean a lot. It meant a lot to me to be, white to black with DJ and have my first class. I walked in through the door, DJ, right? And it is that DJ is a mentor to me. We talk all the time. Jujitsu's a part of it, but I mean, at this point, hell, I sold him a house. I sold his house. I've seen. I was at his wedding. He's at my. There's these life experiences, like you're saying, that transcend jujitsu. And kind of to your point, Rob, I've got buddies, same shit that I've known since we were little kids, man. Like,
Hmm.
and I love them, and I'll never stop that. We'll never stop being friends. But I've got a ton of shit. All three of you guys, Big Mike. I mean, there's some guys that I've met through jujitsu that are lifelong friends that you just never would have seen that coming. So no, I mean, this stuff is is big that way, and nothing would make me happier than putting a black belt on all you guys. You know what I mean?
That'd be
That'd be
cool,
huge.
man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That'd be really cool.
That was a sick
I mean,
party too.
well, we put as coaches, as professors, you put a lot of time into people, and you build these
Yeah.
relationships. So I mean, and also life happens, people get transferred, shit happens, people move, and I've experienced some of that, and you get it, but like that's a heartbreaker. You know what I mean? Because you invest all this time
Hmm.
and energy into people. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's huge.
So, quick question, because I know Josh was trying to work something out to where you're still his professor and you would be the one promoting him, even though he's moved to Colorado. How does that work?
I got to figure that out. I mean, I want it to be, I don't ever want to lose anyone. I have to figure out how that works. How I don't want to rob him of any type of training out there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right.
So we just have to kind of explore that and figure it out. I mean, I'm kind of in the process of it right now. I hope that we can keep him and I can keep him as a student and be the one that promotes him and maybe figure something out. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. I want him to keep training, him to keep developing, and whatever that journey is for him is kind of the most important. I know that sounds kind of like sappy and cliche, but like, I mean, really, that is the most important thing. Like, whenever anyone comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm having issues with schedule, I'm having issues with proximity," I'm always like, "Look, man, I'd love to keep you, but at the end of the day, I want you to keep doing jujitsu. So whatever that solution is, let's do that." And if I can keep
Hmm.
you, I'll do anything in my power to do it, but that's not the first thing in my mind.
Yeah, I was like just curious, like, are you going to be like having to have phone calls with the professor that's, in
Right.
Colorado? Like, hey, how's my boy doing? Like
That's the thing.
divorced parents.
Right. That's the thing. I don't I
Yeah.
don't I don't know how it works,
Okay.
you know?
Well, let me know. Let me know what happens.
I
I'm
will.
not going anywhere yet, but I'm just curious.
Ross, you planning ahead.
That's good.
Yeah, I just like to have my T's crossed. So here's a kind of a question. So say you have somebody and like that they could be good at jujitsu and they're kind of flaky on coming. Is there anything in you that makes to where you kind of pull them aside and be like, hey man, like you could be like doing how much do you like this? I don't know. Like how do you push somebody or protect I don't know. How's that work?
Just like that, just like you said, it more like, a question than a statement. I mean, I guess, like, the statement is, "Hey, I see some real talent in you. Do you like this? Do you like what you're doing?" What I'm getting at is what's the holdup? Is it family? Is it work? What is it? You is this okay? Do you just wanna do it at this level? That's fine too, but I see, a natural talent at this. How could we get more jujitsu in your life, basically? And then see what they say, you know? Yeah. I
All
mean,
right.
it's because you never want to be, you know how this stuff goes. Like, life gets in the way, and family, kids, work, et cetera, et cetera. if I don't see someone for a bit, I learned this from DJ because he did this to me. There was only one time at Blue Belt. I kind of, it was early on. I was like 31, 32. Money was tight. Just jujitsu was the first thing to go. I was like, I gotta cut this off. And DJ reached out, hey man, miss you. How you doing? So
Mhm.
it's not like you're not going to win anyone back by going like, hey dude, like get your ass to class, because then that creates like a weird anxiety. But if you're like, hey man, hope you're doing well. What's going on? We miss you. Oh, and just let them know, like, hey man, like we genuinely miss having you around the gym, and then see what's going on. If it's a money thing, we can always work through that. If it's a schedule thing, maybe we can figure something out. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what the issue is, you just try and kind of be as nice as you can, I feel like, and solve the problem, really.
Yeah. No,
But
I
again,
remember
that
getting
goes
like
back to
texts
DJ.
from you, and I'm like, oh shit. Even it was just like I was hurt or something, and you were like, hey man, where you been? Like, what's going on? And I like always wanted to get back on the mats faster.
Yeah, you don't want people
You've done a
thinking
good
that it's a
job of
money
reaching
thing.
out.
I don't want people ever thinking it's a money thing. Like, because it's so much bigger than that. I just don't want to be like, hey man, like why aren't you paying? Like that's not what it is. It's like,
If
hey
it
man,
was that, you wouldn't hit them up. You just let that fucking subscription keep rolling.
right,
Yeah.
right. Sorry
Hey
to cut
guys,
you
I'm
off.
gonna have.
I had the same
No, you're good.
experience.
I'm gonna have to jump off here. So you can edit this out here when I'm talking. But yeah, I remember that, Jason. Even whenever I tore my hamstring and even my groin, you were always checking in with me, man. That went a long way. I appreciate
Good.
that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
I gotta
genuine.
jump off here. What's that?
I said it was genuine. I mean, I care about you.
Todd.
The
What did I
latest.
say? What did I say? I said no hard stops.
I listened. I listened.
Sorry, I'm long winded. Sorry.
No, it's straight. We're actually like pretty much almost done. I should have just said that, but I don't know. It seems like he's got something going on.
Yeah.
But kind of like we always do one little segment at the very end. So this will kind of be rapid fire, one move for life. So I'm gonna rattle off some things, just spitfire. Y'all tell me kind of your answers. Jay, you go first. One guard that if you have to use for the rest of your career, rest of your life, what are you going with?
Half guard.
Half guard. Come on. I thought you were gonna say spider or something fun.
Well, you said guard, so you're right. I didn't even think about spider guards. But if that's the case, I'll say lasso.
Okay, lasso. All right, Professor.
I'm gonna go collar sleeve open.
Okay, open guard.
I feel like I can get a lot of reset out of there. Like I can kind of probably the same reason Jay chose lasso. I feel like I've got a lot of variety there.
Yeah. Shit, I was giving you shit for saying half guard. Now I'm about to say half guard. Maybe when I get to purple, I'll say spider. But for now, I'm going half guard. All right, so your life's on the line, Jay. What submission are you going with?
Cross call. Nope. Bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow. Okay. All right, Professor.
I'm gonna go Kimura.
Kimura. Life. Okay. If I'm being raped, I'm going triangle. Otherwise, I'm gonna try and get a rear naked in. Hopefully, I'm not being raped. Graped. All right, Jay. One position that you would like to eliminate from BJJ altogether.
Ooh. Man, everything comes in handy. So, like,
How about this?
advantage
What
for me
position do
or
you hate being in the most?
hate being the most?
Yeah.
North south.
Okay. North south.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with, I guess, like a super heavyweight with a lot of hair on their chest in bottom mount. I think that's gonna be my answer. What do you got, Professor?
My least favorite spot to be in ever would be someone on my back, me flattened out, them on my
Okay.
back.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
is
let's
shitty.
start there next time we roll. Yeah.
Yeah. Arms, tucked,
Yeah.
flattened out.
Walk
Hey,
like that.
Professor, I really wanted to work on my rear naked choke when I have someone flattened out.
Really want to work on breaking your back?
Oh, that actually reminds me. I was you had just taught me a short choke in a private, and I think me and Carter were both white belts, and I had him like on his flattened out, and I was on his back, and I did that, and he had a hurt neck, and he
Shit.
looked up, dude. He was so fucking mad. He was like, "You trying to rip my fucking head off?" I was like, no, man, sorry." And then like the next day, he was like, "Hey, sorry, my bad, but I think you fixed my neck."
Yeah,
So
that's
was good.
awesome.
Yeah, I felt bad.
He was there today. I love
Was
Carter.
he?
Yeah.
He's getting big and like
Yeah.
stronger. It seems like.
Yeah. He's
Owning
he's
that
starting
gym.
to cut. Yeah, he's cutting a little bit of weight, but he's strong as shit, like powerful, strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling me it was like lifting 150, 200-pound sandbags. Those things are heavy as shit.
Wow, what
Like,
a
Yeah,
it's like
shocker.
a dead body.
He's teaching classes like at like 5 a.m. Like and then he goes, master mechanic for whatever 10 hours. He's a fucking beast.
Strong hands.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I already know y'all's answer. Gi or no gi forever?
Oh, I was actually gonna ask Jason that, but I'm gonna save his for last. Me, as you know, gi. I love gi. So gi forever for me. What about you, Rob?
You know, I used to be the no gi king. But yeah, I fell in love with gi, so I'm definitely going gi, and I think we're just getting too old to be slipping and sliding around no gi all the time.
Same.
Professor, hit us.
100%. I mean, gi, there's just so much more with the gi. And listen, I'm sure there's going to be people watching this being like, no, I love no gi. Love it, love it, love it. But gi, there's just so much more technicality that's available potentially. And to your point, I can slow someone down. I'm going to be 44 in, 10 days. Like I don't need any of that shit. I need to slow some folks down. So yeah, I'm going to go gi.
Yeah, for sure. Great answer. Jaybird, try not to think about, anything recent. Just going forward, you're enjoying jiu-jitsu, competing once a year or never again.
Till yesterday, probably never, but but I have time to self-reflect, and you know success is built on failures. I don't want to say I'm a failure.
Hell no.
Never. I would never say I'm a failure. I'm good at what I do. People respect me for the things that I do. It's because I am good at what I do. He just got the best of me, which is great, and I want to go ahead and redeem myself. That's one thing that I have to keep in mind. Everyone's still very proud of me, regardless of what it is. The results doesn't necessarily define who I am, but I want to go in and redeem myself and then keep going at it.
Yeah. No, you're the fucking man, dude.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That was a great answer, by the way.
Professor, we're in there's a competition in a different state. You don't have to tell anybody, because just, again, whoever's listening, if you're a professor and you have your own brand and your own gym, there's really no upside in competing. You win, great, but if you don't, then, potentially someone can be like, oh, well, you must not be good at jiu-jitsu. Why would I join your gym, or some bullshit? So if you could be under the radar, be in a different state, or nobody knows, drop your shit and go compete. You think you'll compete at black belt?
No question. Yeah, no. It's I've been talking about it for a little bit, and yeah, absolutely. So I mean, this year for sure I will compete. Hopefully in an IBJJF, but yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that again, it's been since I was a brown belt that I competed, but I think it's important. I think it's good to kind of use it as a measuring stick and kind of see where you're at and learn from it, and just get back in there and sort it out. So yeah, 100% compete.
Word. That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I'd say compete every year as long as my body's can do it. But yeah, so Jay, if there's ever a IBJJF in the Southeast and all of a sudden, it seems like Professor Jason's turning up the heat on these rolls, I think we need to be like checking the regional map.
I'll I'll let you guys know.
Okay. We'll keep it quiet. I won't fucking tell anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, just so everyone understands that kind of piece of it, when we go to, uh, Atlanta IBJJF or things like that, it's really hard for me. Mike does a fantastic job of being able to separate it. I struggle with that, being able to like make it about me or make it about everyone else. And I feel like if I'm just in my zone, I'm gonna miss, even though black belts compete first, like it just kind of takes me out of
Yeah.
that space, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And there is the pressure of all my students, all that shit, whatever, that shouldn't be what it is, but it is, so yeah, no, I'm probably gonna try and find a Charleston, a Charlotte, a Birmingham, a Tampa, something like that.
That'd be sick.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
That'd be sick. Well, that was awesome, man. I'm glad. Appreciate you coming on and giving us your time.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
but
having me,
that's
man. This was fun.
yeah, that was awesome. Sorry, Todd had to bounce. I'll check on him later. I'm sure he's fine. Jay, you got any closing remarks?
No, but I just want to say thank you. That's all I want to say to Professor Jason. I
Of
am
course,
very
man.
thankful that I met him. I'm glad that he's the one who took over the Roswell gym. I mean, I'm a huge believer of everything happens for a reason. So I'm just very, very blessed and thankful that I met Jason, and I'm look forward to our relationship in the future.
Yep.
Likewise.
That's what's up.
Listen, man, both you guys, Todd as well. You guys are killing it. I love what you're doing here with the podcast and the branding and everything, and kind of getting the gym's name out there. So, love it. Keep it up, and see you guys on the mats.
For sure. All right. Well, that's a wrap on season 1. So 10 episodes, 10 weeks, 0 breaks. We started this thing with an idea, couple mics, and a belief that jiu-jitsu conversations should just be raw and honest and unfiltered. And look at us. We've got killers on the mats. We're having our real conversations. We talked wins and losses, community growth, fatherhood, business. We've done it all. So season 1 was the warm-up. Season 2, we're going a little deeper, deep water, bigger guests, bigger conversations, more pressure, more heat. So if you've been rocking with us from episode 1, we see you. Thank you. If this is your first episode, welcome to the family. And make sure you subscribe, share this with your training partners, tag it, clip it, argue with us in the comments. We don't care. We love it. We're not going anywhere. And we'll see you guys soon for season 2. Appreciate you guys.
Better guys. Post.
You boys.
That's another round of Choked Out Chats. If you got something out of this episode, hit follow, subscribe, and share it with your training partners, especially the one who still thinks they almost had you. We'll be back with more stories, more technique, and more chaos from the mats. Until next time, train hard, tap early, and don't be a dick on the mats. Oos.